Thank you, everybody, for your time. My name is Tom Butts. I'm the CEO of Accelerated Concepts. Just wanted to thank you for the opportunity today to present. Just give you a little background on myself. 27 years in the business. Started with the IBM Information Network, believe that or not, doing S&A. Moved IP, saw the rise and fall of Dial. A lot of things happening, but we're very excited about what's happening in the industry today. And I wanted to talk about just a couple of things we're seeing when we talk to our customer sets today that's got them excited about wireless. One of them is primary LTE. So instead of using a wire line, we have a customer today with 5,000 sites. They have probably 3,000 different broadband providers. It's a giant mess for them. And they're saying, hey, it would probably be better for us to do primary LTE. And most of what they do is point of sale, other kinds of things. So it's a real nice platform for them to get a united communication platform. The other thing we're seeing is we're using LTE as a failover to either MPLS or broadband because the more customers are reliant on the cloud, they are saying, I cannot afford downtime. If I'm going to move everything to a cloud, mean time to repair is the number one thing that I've got to do. A 4-hour window to get a circuit repaired does not work for me. I need to have minutes of failover, and so we're seeing a lot of that. And, it really gives you a diverse platform, a diverse network. It gets you out of the conduit, and you don't have to worry about that. And the other thing we're seeing is temporary stores. So we have a case study that you can see on Wednesday where we helped a retail customer that wanted to pop up 800 stores and didn't want to sign contracts for broadband, didn't want to have long-term commits. So wireless was a perfect solution. And then the other one we're seeing is quick connects, what I call it. And that is, I'm going to get an MPLS circuit, but I'm going to have to wait 40 to 80 days to get that installed. I'm going to use LTE as a connection today to get going. And then what we try to do is say, well, since it's already there, you already know it's working, just leave it in place for your backup. Okay, so in those industry changes we're seeing, there's some challenges in getting wireless enabled. Everybody knows that's the hardest part of wireless. So one of the things you have to convince your customer is we're not talking about mobility. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about your cell phone. We're talking about fixed wireless. And so step one is I've got to convince that customer that this is not a mobility solution. It is a fixed wireless phone, fixed wire solution. The other thing we have is sometimes the customer has their routers already installed. So I've got 5,000 sites. I've already got a router installed. I want to add wireless backup to it. I don't want to replace it with a $1,600 router. I've already got a router. I just want to add wireless to it. The other challenge is the data plan fit. And some of the problem we have in the industry today is people still have a 1 meg plan in their back pocket. And they're not talking to their carrier buddies and saying, I need a 50 meg plan. I need a 5 gig plan. I need it pooled. There's a tremendous amount of plans out there, but you got to ask for them because they're not on their standard list. So we've convinced the customer to do this. We found the right data plan. Now the real part is we got to get this thing installed. So we have a couple of things we talk about, and I've got our product here today. It's called the 6300CX. It is a cellular extender. And what this does is it enables you to place the transmitter at an optimal place. So you see I've got a battery pack plugged into this. It comes with a battery pack. It's a temporary battery pack. So if you can imagine this is your store, and you say, I need to have wireless connectivity. My router's back here in the corner. I can't get cellular coverage there. I can use this device and run Cat5 cable to that device and let me move the transmitter to an optimal place. So one of the things we talk about is survive the trial. That's the number one thing that happens. The customer says, let's go, and you got to do 3 or 4 sites and make sure they go well. So we've got to make sure we do that. Now, how do you do that? Well, part of it is our saying is install first time, every time. So once a truck rolls to that site, we never want to roll a truck to that site again, not for the second time to try and install it, not to repair it. We want to be able to do everything remotely, and we'll talk about Accelerated View, our platform, and how it helps you to do that. So let's go through real-world scenarios. I get out to the site. My SIM is misconfigured. Matt, can you drive here for me? So again, not great resolution here, but we'll have to just go with it. This is the dashboard that you get if you're on a customer, and again, this is an enterprise grade. It's actually carrier grade. This is installed in one of the tier 1 carriers here in the United States. And it'll let you, if you scroll over, and again, I apologize, the screen here is really bad, but we'll just go right into it. So you can go over to devices, or if you got nothing on your screen. It's hard to drive here. Little technical hurdles here, guys. There we go. Yay, here's our device finally. So if you say, hey, I've sent this device out and I've either misconfigured the APN in the device, the SIM is misconfigured, I need to fix it. And, how do I fix that in the field? And the answer is, if you go up to the commands line here, we have two different ways of doing this. This device will build an IPsec tunnel back to the accelerated view engine and let you control it remotely. We also have out of band. If you go down to SMS commands, we can send SMS commands that are fully encrypted, non-replayable, very secure, to really redo any part of it. So that's our out-of-band management to that device, because there's two forms of connectivity, right? Oh, sorry about that, guys. So the two things you're doing are, A, I can talk to the device directly, or if I can't get connected, because there's two forms of connectivity, right? There's the SMS signaling, and there's also IP connectivity. So if I can't get IP, I can use SMS now to recover that. And again, fully encrypted, very secure platform, and it helps us fix this. And again, our goal is, while that installer is there, we've got to make sure we get installed. Okay, so let's talk about some other things, which are, we'll do a demo here. And again, I'm sure there's a couple guys in the audience that are going to fight me over that. But if you talk about cellular antennas, this is 30 feet. If you talk about, hey, I'm going to run an antenna more than 30 feet, I'm going to lose all the signal I've gained off my antenna running down this piece of coax. So if you say in my data center, I'm going to use an antenna, 30 feet later you go, I'm out of room here. This is not going to work for me. So again, if we say, hey, look, how far can you run this CX? We let you run it 300 feet. Now you say, okay, I've got it 300 feet away, but I got to mount it up there in the corner, and there's no power. Well, we provide remote power that comes with it. So when you open this box, the power's in there, the mounting capabilities are in there, and we provide 5 different mounting options. Again, the goal here is to get that installer in and out of that site as fast as we can, because that guy's running on a clock. Okay, so now you say, hey, I want to make sure, because most of these installers, they're not really cell savvy. How do I make sure that I get a good connect? I've got a project manager, or I've got a smart tech guy back at headquarters. How can he tell? So if you go up underneath commands and you say check signal strength, you go ahead and click it. What that'll do is it sends a command to the device and says, hey, look, I need to know the signal strength every 15 seconds for the next 10 minutes. So while that person's walking around with that battery pack trying to find the right place to place this device, I can see exactly what's going on. Okay. So what about in a situation where you go, the building I'm in is an unintentional Faraday cage. There's no way to get cell signal inside of this building. What can I do there? Well, what you do is you go outside with this device, walk around, find the optimal place on the outside of the building, drill a hole through the side, put an external antenna, and again, we're going across 2 or 3 feet of coax because we're running that Ethernet cable back to the end device. So the other thing I want to talk about is this device has full router capabilities, everything else, but its main function in life and what is deployed 95% of the time is as a pass-through. So we get the IP address from the carrier, we hand it off to the router, and again, you have full capabilities in here. We can talk to that device, we can tell it to do things on demand. So you go, hey, look, if you have an IPsec tunnel churning all the time, that's going to burn up my data plan. So the way you do it is you say, hey, look, the configuration is don't start your IPsec tunnel. I'll use my SMS command to send an out-of-band message to it that says, hey, build a tunnel to me so I can get access to that device even on a private IP address. So I no longer need to go to the carrier and say, I need an APN that lets me have connectivity and or I need a public IP address. This platform will let you proxy through to this device and get access to this device and the device behind it. Okay. So, I kind of want to take you through those enablement installation challenges. Again, first time, every time is our motto. But I also want to talk about accelerated view. And again, it is carrier grade. There's no limitation of the number of organizations you can have. And an organization is not a set of people. It is a way of organizing devices into different sets or groups. And you can have different configurations for all of those. This is a hosted platform today. So when you buy the 6300CX, it comes with this platform, and you have full access to it. So just talk about the features. Again, emergency remote, out of band, remote control on demand, automatic inventorying, monitoring, alerting, central configuration. All of that is in there, and that's all what you need for the post-install. What else you need for post-install is what happens if this device gets confused for some reason. And there's two mechanisms to fix it. Number one is there's a built-in heartbeat inside of this device that says, if the operating system gets a little squirreled up, I'm going to reset you. I'm going to automatically reset you. It takes about 20 seconds from boot to reconnect. And then the other question you say is, what happens if the radio inside gets a little gummed up? We have full control from the firmware for the power to the radio. You can't just boot the device. You've got to power off that radio and power it back on. Again, all automated in there. And again, the idea being is I don't want to ever roll that truck again. Okay, so just to wrap up, we're trying to be brief here today. LTE is here. The networks are getting better, and our judges companies are putting billions of dollars into those networks. They're very exciting. And, the things that we're really proud of is our optimize the install first time, every time, and optimize the post-install with our accelerated view platform. Any questions, anything for me?
Analysts, judges, Dan?
Any insight on your roadmap?
Very good question. So the accelerated view where we're going is it's an SNMP and it's a syslog-based platform, so we're extending it so customers can do it. Secondarily, we're going to add analytics to this. And what we're going to try and do is, and we've been working on it for quite a while, is take our really smart engineers that are working on this and our help desk people, merge them together and try and add, this is an old word, a smart system to this, where we can do predictive analysis on when we can tell, hey, this site is going to eventually have problems. So that's the future of accelerated view. And then in booth 313, you can come by and see the other products we have there, and we'll talk about our futures of products there too. Good question.
Excellent. And with that, give them a round of applause.